Hello and welcome to Squid Pro Quo, a Squid Game podcast where there are only 3 rules. 1, a player is not allowed to stop podcasting. 2, a player who refuses to podcast will be eliminated. And 3, the podcast will be terminated if the majority agrees. I'm Sean. I'm not...
And I'm Mike.
Oh, I was gonna... Okay.
You were gonna say a thing over my intro. How dare you?
I wasn't gonna finish my intro. I was saying, I'm Sean. I'm not sick, but my voice is still sick. So I'm sorry.
I think you sound beautiful and great.
Thank you.
But more importantly than that, Sean, we are Squid Boys.
We are Squid Boys.
Boys, Squid Boys. But even more importantly than that, Sean, we are Gganbu.
Yeah, we are.
We are Gganbu, and Gganbu share everything.
Yeah. What is... You said you had a question for me.
No, I was going to ask if we're Gganbu, but I know in my heart we're actually Gganbu.
I'm glad you didn't ask. It would have been a little insulting.
Yeah, because, I mean, we're clearly Gganbu.
Yeah. If you'd had to ask, it would have been like, really? I mean, I thought we knew this, you know?
Like, really, Mike? You really don't think we're Gganbu at this point? We do a Squid Game podcast together? You know.
Yeah, nothing says Gganbu like being the Squid Boys with a Z.
That's true. Squid Boys with a Z. We share everything as Gganbu.
Do you remember who said that the podcast gave Howard Stern energy?
It was your spaghetti story.
Was it my spaghetti story?
They said the spaghetti story had Howard Stern energy, and I said, well, that's what they call him, Star Wars Stern. I mean, and they call me Kingdom Hearts Kimmel, so we're good.
Star Wars Stern, Kingdom Hearts Kimmel, we're
the Squid Boys.
We're the Squid Boys, and we're Gganbu.
Gganbu forever.
Gganbu forever.
Speaking of sharing everything like Gganbu, Sean, is there maybe some listener feedback we got for you to share as Gganbu together?
Good segue. Good segue.
That was a stretch of a segue.
It was you know what? So the goal is to see how many times we can say Gganbu, right?
Oh, did we? Is that what we're doing?
I don't know. It is now.
Gganbu.
As Gganbu, I just want to tell you that, you know, I think that was a good segue.
Thank you. And as your Gganbu, I want to say thank you for humoring me and telling me that was a good segue, because it was not.
Well, you know what?
Good thing we're Gganbu.
Maybe I just have different standards.
That is very clear, Sean. Like us talking about if we're Gganbu or not, that did not need to be said. It's clear. You have different standards.
So on the 067 and 240 relationship, I can't remember their names, so I wrote down their numbers. Diana shutting me down, absolutely slamming me into the ground and saying, no, you're wrong. Said, Sean, I think that the attraction you see is more of a kindred spirits one. At least that was the connection I got from watching it. I still think I don't think it was like your standard television, when we get out of this, we're going to make a life together kind of thing, you know? I do think 240 kind of had a thing for 067. Saebyuk. I think 240 had a thing for Saebyuk. I don't know if it was reciprocated. I didn't really get any reciprocating feelings, but I don't know. Maybe it was just the way it was played. I just wanted to give the update. Nobody else. I mean,
maybe they wanted to get away together to Jeju Island. You know, you don't know.
They might have. Who knows? But spoiler alert for this episode. Doesn't matter now.
It's not a spoiler. Jeju Island's a real place.
That's not what I was. Anyways, on the Fortnite front. On the
Fortnite episode.
On the Fortnite front, Fabio. And at first, I didn't know if I wanted to read this one because it kind of is what we said we weren't going to read. But I think it's cute, so I'm going to read it anyways. And Fabio said, I will say that every once in a while, Kim and I will build a fort in our living room and spend the weekend chilling, playing video games, watching TV, etc. We do tend to just go the blanket over chairs route, but not without commandeering our bedroom and futon mattresses.
Yeah, Fabio, that's exactly what we told you not to say.
Yeah, but I think it's sweet.
Shout out to Fabio. He's a real one.
Shout out to Fabio. Fabio's a real one.
Fabio also thought the podcast comes out on Fridays, and that's a little
that was
Fabio.
really weird. He really thought that it came out on the day of the Ansem Report podcast, the longest running Kingdom Hearts.
Like I'm going to compete with my own podcast, man.
That's wild. That'd be crazy. Why would you do that?
No. The Ansem Report would get blown out of the water.
I can always count on posting some random shit in the movies channel and Fabio coming in with some thoughts. I can always count on him.
Fabio's a very thoughtful dude.
He is. Lots of thoughts in that head. But one of the thoughts that should have gone through his head is this story is exactly what they told me not to say.
Oh, come on. Don't grief him. We already griefed him. Unlike Jip, who we have not griefed yet. Jip, you suck.
Yeah.
Anyway, does Jip have a comment? He didn't say anything?
No, you didn't say anything. Jip understood the assignment. And
Jip probably didn't have a good Fort story.
Corn did have a good fort story. So Corn said, a friend and I made a fort in my parents' backyard growing up. They had a giant dirt trench along the outside of the backyard, and the neighbor behind them had a fence, so the fort had 2 walls already. The fence on one side and a mound of dirt on the other. We then used sticks and random shit that we found in the neighborhood to build the other walls and threw a tarp over the top for a roof. That shit was awesome.
Sounds awesome.
One day, we used our imaginations and pretended we were living in the woods and needed to cook and started a fire in the fort. Well...
maybe don't do that one.
Well, them sticks holding it up were dry and started to catch fire. I ran inside to get my grandma. God. I ran inside to get my grandma, and she came out and stomped that shit out with her foot like the baddest bitch. She's 100% Trinidadian with the thickest accent and doesn't take shit. She then proceeded to yell at me and whoop my ass in front of my friend, so that was fun. She never told my parents, though, a real G. And then it's like, it's like, it's easy one emote, which I think is like Pepe, but like he's got like sunglasses or something.
Oh yeah, easy, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just easy.
Yeah, easy. So yeah, wow. That's exactly the kind of story we were looking for.
Thank you, Corn, for almost burning your neighborhood down. Just so we have a good story on the podcast.
Yes, yeah. I really appreciate the prescience that your younger self had, knowing that one day there would be a podcast that would need this story.
Yeah. Thank you, Corn. You're a legend. And thank you to Corn's grandma.
Yeah. Stomped that shit out with her foot like the baddest bitch. And that is a quote.
It's a good quote. It's true.
It is a good quote. You were there?
Yeah, I was there.
Oh my God.
I'm the friend that Corn built the fort with. No, I wasn't there. I'm not there.
Oh my God.
I'm just kidding. I'm just farting around here, Sean.
I feel like you're trying to cover something up now.
No, I'm just trying to live up to our Howard Stern-esque nature of our podcast.
Because now in my head, like, you time traveled back there and this happened, and like now you're trying to hide that fact. No,
I didn't do that.
You didn't? You promise?
If I had time travel, I would.
We're Gganbu.
Yeah, we're Gganbu. I'd tell you the truth. If I knew time travel, I would like go back and like bet money on a Super Bowl or something. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't do anything like start a fire. I would go back and try to figure out how to make future self the most money possible.
So that's what you would do. We're just so off topic, but I'm going to push a little bit further. So that's like, if you have time travel, like you straight in for personal gain.
Yeah, what the fuck else would I do?
You're not going to like kill Hitler or anything?
Why? He died. Did he need to be killed twice? Oh, you're saying I should stop the Holocaust. Oh. I thought you meant like go back and kill him before someone else did. Just like Like, oh, I'm the one that killed Hitler. Hooray. Sorry, I misunderstood the assignment. Whoops. Well, anyway, I apologize to any of our Jewish listeners. I would definitely go back and stop the Holocaust. There we go. No personal gain here.
All right, I haven't laughed that hard in a long time.
I'm glad I amused you, Sean.
That actually hurt a little bit. Anyways, moving swiftly along.
What would you guys do if you had time travel, huh? Who would you go kill just before they died just to be like, I killed them?
You were like, your first thought was like, what? I want bragging rights? Like,
yeah. I want to be the guy that killed Hitler. Hell yeah. Let's do it.
Oh, God. Oh.
Because if I go kill him as a baby, like, I can't brag about that.
That's a post-credit scene in Deadpool 2, I think.
He goes and kills Hitler as a baby?
I don't know if he does it, but I think he goes back in time to it.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I don't really remember a lot about Deadpool 2.
It might have been in, like, the super duper cut or whatever that they released on Blu-ray or whatever.
Gotcha. Anyway, Sean, should we get into this episode maybe?
we should swiftly get into this episode.
So this episode is called, believe it or not, Gganbu. And Gganbu, they explain, means best buddy, best pal. So Sean and I, Gganbu. That's us. And this episode opens, cold open, with where we were left off last time. Junho, Junho, what the fuck is his name?
Gihan.
No.
Right?
No, the cop.
Oh, sexy cop man?
I just said
you can call him by his title.
Sexy cop man.
Yeah, don't be. Why are you afraid to call him by his title?
It's Junho. I was right the full time. It's fine. Sexy cop man Junho is on the loose. And so they have pulled everybody together in out of bed, including our old man friend who has wet himself. And the guards are inspecting everybody. And as they go by, Gihan, good guy Gihan, gives his jacket to put around the waist of number one to try and save him embarrassment. And he definitely appreciates this act of kindness. And it's just another example of Gihan being a good guy. Wouldn't you agree, Sean?
I would agree. I want to say also this episode I watched with the dub because I was very busy, and so I needed to be able to kind of look away for a second and understand what they're saying.
Wow, Sean cheated.
I've watched the episode before. This is our second time through. Gian's I don't know. I kind of really like his English voice actor. I think it fits
he's not
the
bad,
character
right?
really well.
It does.
I don't know about everybody else, but I definitely like.
Yeah, 212's pretty bad.
Yeah, I didn't think number one. I think number one doesn't fit the character. Personally,
I like it actually because it's like, like I said, it's like Master Splinter.
Yeah.
You're
right. Oh, you're so right. It is very Master Splinter. But I definitely, I think
it's like the trope of a wise old Asian man, you know?
Yeah. I think Ian's English VA is really, really good. I think it really...
I agree.
Encapsulates or whatever that character very well.
So back to the cold open, they walk into the Dr. Seuss room, as I've been calling it, and there are 5 bodies hanging, one being the doctor and the other 4 being guards. And the front man comes over the speaker and apologizes for them rigging the game, so to speak, and that it will not happen again, and da-da-da-da-da, you know, typical stuff that the front man would kind of say about fairness and Everybody's kind of shocked at this, especially Doksu, who is he's grimacing quite a bit, and he's like, "Oh, this is not good," you know.
Yeah.
212 puts together that's how Doksu was cheating, was using the doctor, and they share a glance. And anyway, that's the cold open.
Which massive tonal shift from our time travel stories.
Yes, definitely. I'm just gonna get Junho out of the way here because he doesn't do much this episode. The episode mostly focuses on the game, so I'm gonna get Junho out of the way. He's still in the records area taking pictures of pretty much everything he can with his phone, and he hears a phone ring, and he goes to see, and he looks like he's gonna answer it, and then the front man comes off his elevator coming to answer the phone, and he hides. Here's my question for you, Sean.
Okay.
This is obviously a big facility they're in, right? How does the front man know his phone's ringing?
So my guess is somebody in the command center said there's a call for you on this line, and he said put it through to my phone upstairs, and then went up to answer it.
Okay.
And that would explain why he gets there so quickly.
Okay. The second mystery is he talks to somebody and he says, there was a bit of a disturbance. We're taking care of it. It will be taken care of before the VIPs arrive. Who's he talking to, Sean?
Do you want me to say who I thought the VIPs were when I watched it the first time?
Sure.
I thought they were winners of previous games.
Okay. I like that idea.
That was my theory at that point.
But it's clear who he's talking to isn't a VIP, though.
No.
Because he says that when the VIPs arrive. So I'm not quite sure who he's talking to. But anyway, he leaves, hangs up the phone. Junho decides he's going to try to dial out. And he hits 119. And I don't remember what the other combination is, but apparently these are things you dial out in South Korea. But he doesn't get any kind of... He's trying to reach, obviously, and he gets nobody. So he stops, and they don't do anything else with him that episode, right? That's it? I don't think you see him at all.
Anything else? I don't think so.
So
I think that's it.
Anyway, that's it for Sexy Cop Man this episode. I hope you guys are sad about it. No, I don't.
Oh my God.
I meant to say I'm sorry to those who were sad about it, but that came off. This episode messes me up, all right? This episode's sad.
As a representative of the Squid Boys, I just want to make sure that everybody is very clear that we don't ever want you guys to be sad. We're very...
No, but
we're sad
Squid Game definitely
sad.
Does. Squid Game definitely wants us to be sad. So, there are 40 players left, and there wasn't a game last episode, so there's not really anything to like...
Well... Did you say
there were 40 players left, but the doctor is dead, so they're 39. There's not really anything to like talk about as far as the money or whatever. They obviously added more money to the pot for the doctor dying, and they get into that a very similar white room to the before Tug of War. I don't know if it's the same one or not. I think it is, and they are told to divide up into teams of 2 and find who you want to team up with and shake their hand to signify that you'll be teaming up with them for this next game.
Here's my question.
Okay.
Did they purposely get down to an even number to play this game? Or do they choose the game based off of the number of people left? And it was just that by the time the doctor was killed, it was too late to change the next game.
So here's the thing. The game previous to this was Tug of War.
Yeah.
And they had 80 people go into Tug of War. And so Tug of War, they were controlling how many people were left, correct? So then the game... Yeah, because they knew that there were 8 teams of 10 and half would die.
Yeah.
The game before that, however, was the Honeycomb game, right?
Yeah.
And they had no idea how many people were going to win or lose that.
Yeah.
But in between, there was the Night of Terror where they killed each other, right?
Yeah.
And again, I don't think they had any idea how many would be dead after that.
But do you think they decided to end it after a certain number was reached?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I think there's a reason why they ended it, and I'm not going to say right now because I feel like it reveals too much about later episodes.
I just didn't know if that could be like another, like, yeah, okay, we'll talk about this again. We'll talk about this again later because I can't say what I'm trying to say without spoiling it. Yeah.
Right. So they split up into teams of 2, and they have 10 minutes to split up into teams of 2. 212 is just being cringe.
Yeah, so watching the dub this time somehow makes the character worse.
Yeah.
I did not think it was possible. Oh my god, I can't stand her.
She's bad, and the thing is though, she's not far off from the subtitles, but they just add just these tiny little things that make her even more unbearable. Yeah.
It's just the voice. I hate her. Not the person voicing it, but the character.
Yeah, you don't hate the actress. You got to be very clear there. But
yeah.
She's pretty cringe. She tries to flirt with Gihan. She tries to flirt with Sang-woo, and they both do this thing that people do, and I see it where like they won't tell her no, but they don't want to make eye contact with her, and that delivers the message kind of thing. Like they don't even want to speak to her. It's almost like a politeness thing that people do, but it's like you could just tell her no, it's fine.
Yeah, she's kind of crazy. It's okay.
Saibyuk says, "Hey, you're embarrassing yourself. Stop."
Yeah,
and that's when she starts to get more toxic and be like, "You guys are making a big mistake." Da 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 da. So she walks off. And Gihan turns to Sang-woo and says, "Hey, Sang-woo," and Sang-woo's like, "Ali, we should team up."
Yeah.
And it's kind of awkward. And he says, we're the smartest and the strongest. I think we'll win if we team up together. And Ali looks at Gihan like, is this okay? And Gihan's like, "Oh, no. He does like, "Oh, it's okay." Waves his hands around like, it's fine, Jesus Man and other guy in the group team up. Saibyuk is convinced by 240 to team up together, and she uses the same reasoning that Saibyuk told her. She picked her for the tug of war that, "Hey, I figured you'd go with me." And she goes, "Yep, that's what I'm doing right now." So they team up.
Yeah.
Gihan and number 1 have a conversation where he gives him his jacket and says, "You don't want people to think you're weird because you're not wearing a jacket or whatever, so here, take my jacket." But, the old man is kind of like, "Yeah, we're not teaming up," right?
Yeah.
Duck-soo teams up with 278, who I really like in this episode.
I also really, really like him in this episode. I don't like his dub voice either.
I actually like it. I think it's goofy and funny, and
I think it's just a little bit too cartoony, just a smidge.
See, I actually like it in this episode, and the reason is this episode's very serious and very sad. And he brings enough goofiness to kind of take away from the other sad scenarios. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like him and Duck-soo are not to spoil what happens, but they're kind of almost like dick measuring as opposed to competing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I actually like that in this episode.
I think the only part that like I didn't. Because like there's just points where he's kind of like, ooh,
no,
like,
I love
those
it.
Those are the parts where I was like, okay, we're going a little.
When he sticks his
far.
tongue out at him, dude, that's the best part.
I'm okay with that stuff. It was just kind of like, ooh, that I was like, all right, we're going a little overboard, personally. But I also like what you're saying about it kind of releases the pressure a little bit. I get that.
Right, because we'll get to it. Anyway,
yeah.
Gihan starts talking to number 62, who's a character we haven't met yet. And 62's really laying it on thick, man. He's like, come on, we'll be a great team. I turned down a bunch of people to be on your team, man. He's basically like, let's seal this devil's three-way. Like he's basically like just saying like all these like crazy things. And
he's like, I've been watching the show. I know you're the main character. Come on, let's do this.
Let's team up. Let's do this. what are we waiting for? And
Yeah.
he also mentions that there's only 39 players left due to the doctor being killed, and that means the old man's probably going to get left alone. And this, you can tell Gihan is going to do the right thing here.
Yeah.
And he goes and, hey, old man, do you want to team up? And sure enough, they team up.
And who gets left alone?
Who gets left alone? Number 212. And she just starts begging people. No, you're making a mistake.
We don't find out what happens to her this episode, do we?
No, we do not.
No.
But one thing that is interesting, she's, tries to stop Doksu and 278. And she's like, you don't want to team up with this guy. He was teaming up with that doctor. He was cheating, da-da-da-da-da. And you can tell 278 considers it.
Yeah.
He goes, but eventually they push her down, they're mean to her. And then she gets taken away by the guards, and the soldier's theme is very heavy here. Like, it's very like loud and very big part as she's screaming as they take her away.
Without spoiling it, because we don't get it resolved in this episode, I got so mad when we find out what happens following this. Yeah. And it made me so mad watching it again, knowing where that plot line went. I was just like, I hate this so much.
Right. Yeah, I know. It's I kind of figured watching it the first time because all the talk of fairness, right?
Yeah.
All the talk of, no one's above anybody, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, we get into the area where they're going to be playing the game, and each guard is assigned to 2 people, and they start leading them away to different spots of this kind of recreated small Korean neighborhood. And they find out.
But before they find out, what did you think the game was going to be at this point when you were watching for the first time?
No idea.
The only things that were popping through my head was like, is this going to be the craziest game of tag ever? Or like hide and seek? But I had no other ideas beyond those 2.
No, I had no idea what they were going to play. But what does happen is they find out they're playing marbles first, and Gihan and old man kind of celebrate. They're like, "Oh, we're playing marbles. We're both good at marbles, and da 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 da." And we're Gganbu. We're Gganbu. Like, that. And at first, Gihan's like, "I don't even remember what that means." And he goes, "No, we're best friends." He goes, "Oh yeah, I had one of those, and we share everything." Da da da. And then they find out that, dun dun dun, they are playing each other in this whatever game of marbles they choose.
And at this point, I think at this point, immediately what's going to happen throughout the rest of the episode.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, I think the pairings are very clear about who's going to make it.
Okay.
I think it's like pretty obvious which character is gonna win in each, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it still manages to.
I think I agree with you, with the exception of one pairing, and we can talk about it.
Okay. Okay. Oh, there's also one that I was not sure about, and I'm curious to see if it's the same one. But also the music in this episode in particular is really, really good.
Yeah, that piano theme is insane.
And when it first starts to hit, when you're realizing, oh God, they have to play against each other, and it's like cutting to everybody, and then something that I mentioned episodes ago, because I was like, this is setting something up that is really minor, but it's going to pay off in such a huge way. I had more of a reaction to the realization that, of course, the husband and wife were going to play together than anybody else in that room.
Yeah, they don't show them after that, really.
Oh no, they don't. Yeah, no. It just you see them once in this episode as everybody's realizing that they have to play against each other, and then that's it for this episode. We don't see the result of it.
Right.
But like, that the result is
one of them dies.
One of them is gonna die. Yeah. And it's just very well done.
Yeah, I agree. I this is one of those moments I want to mention as well where the actor playing Gihan just excels at showing that realization that turns into like just absolute misery on his face, right? The old man, he's you know, he's not I think he's is this when he does the KH marble in the sun thing?
Oh my god, you're right, and I didn't know, but you're right. Yes, I think that is.
He grabs a marble and he looks at it in the sun like Kingdom Hearts 2 style, and
hey, Gihan.
But Gihan,
do you
just
know
like,
why the sun sets red?
Right, exactly.
Oh no!
Oh no, Gihan.
Yeah.
Who will I eat ice cream with?
Who will I be Gganbu with? Do.
Sad guy hours. Immediately, people start playing. Daksu and his chief henchman play. 240 and Saibyuk don't start playing.
No.
They decide, hey, if we're going to do this, let's just do this right at the end. We'll play one round and we'll decide. And in the meantime, let's talk. And I think this like cuts between all the different pairs.
I think we should take one at a time.
I think so too. So let's start with Saibyuk and 240. And we learned some interesting things about 240.
She killed her dad.
She killed her dad, who was sexually abusing her and killed her mother.
Yeah.
And was a pastor.
Which
explains why she was so anti-pastor, anti-Jesus with the guy earlier. And that she was afterwards, she served her prison time. And when she was released, she got the business card and came straight here, basically, and has nowhere else to go. And we find out, you know, Saibyuk, her mother was in China and got sent back to North Korea. And that if she wins, she's going to use the money to get a house for her and her brother and get her mom back over there and maybe go to Jeju Island. And 240 laughs at her and, you know, says, you could go anywhere. You know, you don't have to go to Jeju Island.
Yeah.
That she, a couple times while they're talking, she makes the mistake going, oh, when we get out of here, we can do this. And then she goes, oh, that's right. So they wait till the last minute to play, and they play a game where, hey, whoever gets their marble closest to the wall, throw in from here. And Saibyuk goes first, and she gets decently close. And 240, who we find out her name is Ji Young, just drops her marble and says, oops. And Saibyuk, you know, argues with her and says, stop playing cool. And she's like, you know, I don't have anything to go out there to. You do. Like, you know, you need to survive and win. And it's very sad. They spend the whole episode getting to know each other, and her elimination is probably one of the most haunting eliminations we've had, maybe since the guy on the slide. Yeah,
it happens in the background, and then like it focuses on Saibyuk as she's walking away, and you just kind of see this blurry like.
Yeah, I actually have the GIF right here in front of me. I don't think it's that blurry. I mean, it's blurry, but it's not that blurry.
It's not super blurry. I just mean to say that it
focuses on Saibyuk.
Yeah. The camera's not focusing on the background. It's focusing on Saibyuk. So when she goes all or nothing at the beginning, do you think she was like, I'm gonna do this? Like from the beginning? Yeah,
she knew.
So do I.
She knew because even before they play the game, even before they know what they're doing, she says, I'll make sure you win.
Yeah.
So I think it's implied that she doesn't know what they're doing, but I think she's figured out that they're not going to be a team.
She's an interesting character, and this choice is interesting because I feel like she's in a very different place than everybody else is.
Right.
Where most of the people there have nothing financially, and I think her situation goes beyond that.
Oh, for sure. She has nothing, period.
Yeah, and I'm not even sure that she's in financial trouble to begin with. Like, it would be very difficult to recover from where she is, but I don't think she's in nearly as bad a place. She's not in debt.
She just doesn't have anything.
Yeah, like
at all.
It's a scenario that I think she could have bounced back from, but she doesn't care to because she has nothing. There's no life around it. you know, whereas everybody else is playing to get rid of this debt to go to the life that they're missing. And she's like, it doesn't matter if I get the money isn't the issue. And I think that makes her very interesting. And it ultimately, part of me when she does it is like, I get it.
Right. Oh no, for sure. And what the scene where she ends up getting shot to me says it all, right? Because she's standing there and she goes, Cybiuk, thank you. But you can tell she's satisfied with what she's done, but she's also very frightened, right?
Yeah.
You know, she's like shivering a little bit. She's like crying. She's, you know, it's almost a melancholy feeling for her that she dedicated her life to letting someone else survive. But also it's, you know, she's frightened because who wouldn't be, you know,
especially with her background of being raised by like a pastor, and especially a pastor that then it seems that a lot of her disillusionment with religion comes from that relationship with her father. So then I'm sure I'm thinking way more about this character than the show intends me to, but I would think a person like that would have a lot of difficulty with the question of what is next after I get shot in the head. And a lot of conflict of what she was raised to believe versus what her beliefs have morphed into because of the people that instilled those beliefs in her hurting her.
Right.
So I think it's a very complex place to be in your final moment.
Right.
And I think she does a very good job playing it, and it's very sad. And this episode makes me very sad.
Yeah, this is probably, in retrospect, this is probably the saddest part of the episode. Well, no, I changed my mind.
Yeah,
we're going to talk about the other one in a minute. Before we talk about that one, let's talk about the goofy one, which is Daksu and his funny henchman man. And Daksu's getting his ass kicked at guessing marbles. And the idea with a lot of different groups are playing it this way, where you hold either odd or even marbles in your hand, and then the person tries to guess if you even or odd, and then they bet a certain amount in their hand, and they get that many from you if they guess properly. And Daksu is getting worked. He has a couple left, and he decides, hey, we need to switch up the game. And something I find very interesting is he appeals to the guard, saying, hey, you know, you said we have to play whatever game we'd like. Shouldn't we switch up the game? And the guard's just like, that's acceptable. Go ahead. So they start playing a different game of kind of, it's basically marble golf, where they dig a ditch and they throw marbles at it. And if you get it in the ditch, you get all the marbles on the field.
He said, we want to play another game. I need you to bring in a Nintendo Switch and get me a copy of Super Mario Golf All-Stars.
Yes, that's what we want to play. And specifically the New Donk City level.
Yes.
But anyway, so they start playing that, and Daksu ends up winning all the marbles in a very big round. And I like this part, like I said earlier, because they really ham it up, you know, like they're oh yeah, you asshole, like they're really like going at each other, and like I said, it provides some levity between the more sadder duos that we run into, and I appreciate it for that. Ultimately, it's one of those ones where you know Daksu is going to win. He's the character they've put more time into.
I actually wasn't sure. I really thought this could have been the end of his character, because I thought it would have been a satisfying end to his character. For him to get beaten like this, I was like, maybe this is going to be the one part of the episode where we're like, okay, I'm all right with that. You know, so I actually, this was the one matchup where I wasn't sure who was going to win.
So I didn't feel that way about this one. And that's mostly because when I watched this episode, I assumed that them taking 212 away meant she was going to survive.
Yes.
And I think they wanted to wrap up his story with her. That's what I thought at the time. I'm not going to confirm or deny that's what happens if you haven't watched Squid Game. But that was my thought. So I thought, no, there's no way Daksu dies.
I was hoping I shouldn't say what I was hoping for because that will give away. No, never mind.
I thought the Sang-woo Ali matchup was actually a little more, and in hindsight it's silly to think that because Sang-woo's clearly, if Gihan's 1A, Sang-woo's 1B, right?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is it felt like to me those were the two that were coming to a head.
In the moment, I felt, oh, this could just be a crazy twist because this show has at times really turned itself on its head of what you expect out of a show, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, if there's one where they really want to pull things out, it's Sang-woo dies here and then Gihan's mad at Ali, right? Like that. I was like, that could be interesting.
That could be, yes.
That could be interesting. I'm not. That's not what happens, obviously, and we're gonna talk about it right here. Sang-woo and Ali are playing marbles, and it's the character of Ali. It's so unfortunate because he seems like the nicest guy that's ever existed. He doesn't understand what even and odd is, and Sang-woo has six.
I don't think he understood the word.
Yeah,
like
no,
in
for sure.
Yeah. Like, I just want to make sure people get it. Like he understands the concept of what even and odd is. It's just when they said the word in Korean, he wasn't sure what the word meant.
Right. So Ali, whether it's beginner's luck or what, he didn't play marbles as a kid, is just waxing the floor with Sang-woo at guessing marbles until Sang-woo has one marble left, and he begins to threaten Sang-woo and accuse him of cheating, or threaten Ali and accuse him of cheating, and he starts grabbing him.
Sociopath.
To the point where a guard pulls his gun on Sang-woo, like, hey, leave this, no violence. That's one of the rules. You can't be violent with the person in this game. And, Sang-woo breaks down and starts crying, and he says, I'm sorry, I know you wouldn't cheat. We both need to survive. And he starts, and you can tell he's really lying, right?
Yeah, because he's a sociopath.
It's just, he's just shit-faced lying to Ali, but Ali is such a nice, naive guy that he's like, okay, I can save Sang-woo too.
And I don't even know if it's... I don't know how much of it is him being naive and how much of it is Sang-woo, this entire show, has cultivated this mentor and mentee relationship with.
Oh, for sure.
And he's just completely exploiting it in this moment of where Ali trusts him. And I don't think it's naivety. I think he has a reason to trust Sang-woo. Based off of how he's been treated in the past, And
I guess Ali doesn't get the same window into Sang-woo that we do, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's naive in the first place to have that trust
anybody in this situation.
Yeah, right. That's what I mean by that. Not necessarily that he's naive in general, but just with that in that character in general. So he comes up with, he has this plan where he says, hey, not every two people are going to do this. They're not going to come to a winner in the time limit. So we need to find those two, and then we'll be able to team up our marbles and play against them. And it's just such a load of horse shit. But he sends him to go start counting old people and young people. He does this little sleight of hand trick where he says, wait, Ali, you're just holding your marble pouch. Let's make it safer. And he rips his shirt up to create this little lanyard. And he goes, you feel better with this now, right? Yeah. And what we find out is that he filled his sack with rocks and then switched the two out so he has all 20 marbles. And he goes up to the guard and he says, hey, you said we could do this any way we want without violence. I have all 20 marbles. Let me out. And the guard obliges. And as Ali's walking around and he comes back and Sang-woo. And he realizes Sang-woo's not there, and he opens up his bag to find pebbles. And he's the look of betrayal and sadness on his face and tears in his eyes. It is just so heartbreaking. And I'm just gonna say it right now. Fuck Sang-woo, dude.
Yeah, no, Sang-woo is I think it's the saddest scene in the whole show.
It's very sad, and we really like Ali as a character, so that's part of it. But it's also just it shows that when you're that kind of nice, you can't survive in a world like this.
And I hate.
And I'm not talking about like our world in particular, but I mean like the world they found themselves in.
Yeah, of this death game of like.
It's like when people talk about the show Survivor, right? It's like the nice people on the show Survivor don't last because they get backstabbed in some way and then they get voted off or whatever, right?
Yeah,
it's a similar idea, just with death instead.
Yeah, permanent.
Yes.
Sungwoo fucking hate the sociopath bitch. I hate him. But what makes it even worse is like he's introduced in one way in the beginning, and you watch like the real him come out over the course of the game.
Yeah,
like not this game specifically, but the Squid Game overall.
Right.
And it's just like, you know what he's gonna do. Like, you know that he's not gonna be fair, you know.
And we're not even like, we don't get this idea of Sangwoo painted to us by his actions. Even it's Gihan, saying, "Oh, he's the best person from this neighborhood, and he went to this university." And Gihan's the one who talks him up and has this lens for him that's not necessarily in awe of him, but almost just like
reverence.
This guy, there's reverence for him. He's like a legend to him, you know, and but he, you know, also says, you know, I got him into school or what, you know, like the typical Gihan part of it. But
don't forget me when you get big, you know.
Speaking of Gihan, we have to go to his pairing, and he's playing with the old man. He has trouble getting the old man to play because this neighborhood reminds him of where he grew up, interestingly enough, and that half the episode is him being like, "Sir, please, we have to play, sir, you know, we have to play this game." And eventually he grabs him and starts screaming at him because he's losing his shit, and he goes, "Okay, I'll play with you, but don't yell at me."
So here's my question to you. All right, I might consider this a plot hole in that Gihan goes up to, or maybe not a plot hole, but it breaks a rule. Gihan goes up to one of the guards and he's like, "Hey, this guy's not fucking playing the game. Like, there's something wrong with him. He's not, he can't do it, whatever." And maybe this works, but one of the rules is that a player who refuses to play will be eliminated.
That's true.
Isn't in this scenario, if the guards are following with those rules, which I don't, I mean, we talked about it before. I think the fairness is bullshit, and they only really follow it when it benefits them. But technically, I feel like number one is refusing to play. Even
so
though
I
it's
would say
not his fault, I feel like that would still fall under that rule.
I would say technically he's not refusing to play. Okay. He doesn't say, "I'm not playing." He doesn't say no. He just goes and does what he's doing, right? I think, and I think in this scenario, the refusing to play would be the timer runs out and they haven't played.
Yeah,
right. Because there's the time.
I don't think that. I think you're right. But I don't think that's bad writing. I think it just exemplifies how flawed the organization is, because I don't think that's what that rule says. You know, I don't think they're following it. But I believe that's how they choose to interpret what they've set forward.
Okay, in this scenario, say the husband and wife, let's just use them as an example. Say they went up to the guard and they said, "We're refusing to play." I don't think the guards would pull out their guns and shoot them on the spot. I think they would wait the 30 minutes, and then if they refuse to play, they'd shoot them both. You know what I mean?
I don't think that the guard should have shot number one immediately in the moment. I feel like, I guess I should say, because Gihan does go up to the guard and says all this stuff, I think the ambivalence, the guard not caring is the part that doesn't really track with me. I feel like the guard should have gotten involved.
Okay,
maybe
fair
not
enough.
like I'm gonna shoot you right now, but like if you don't start playing soon, you're gonna get shot. You know?
I don't know. I think they would have just went by the okay, here's an example. The red light, green light, right?
Mm-hmm.
If someone just stood there the whole time and didn't move, they wouldn't shoot him. They'd wait till the timer ran out. Right?
But I do think that maybe while not doing it explicitly, I do think the old man is refusing to play because Gi-hun keeps chasing after him going, well, let's play. And he's like, I have to find my house. He's like ignoring him. Like,
well, right, but
I think that's still refusal.
My point is the refusal doesn't come into effect until the timer runs out.
Which that might be true.
Right. Because you could argue like, oh, me staying still in red light, green light the whole time is a strategy. I was playing. I was just waiting until people got out of my way or whatever. Right. Or, oh, I mean, like, obviously, if someone crosses their arms and puts their honeycomb down, right? Then yeah, but I don't think they would have shot him still. They would have waited till the timer ran out. So I think I get what you're saying. And I was actually surprised by the response of the guard when Doksu and his lackey were playing.
Yes.
So,
that surprised me as well.
To me, I feel like that's par for the course for what they've been doing with what happens with Gi-hun and the old man. In my opinion. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah. And I think if I were to like...
There's also a layer to it that we can't discuss.
Yes, there is. I think if I were to be not generous, but if I were to look at it from a certain point of view... I had something while you were talking, and
from a certain point of view, the Jedi are evil.
Yeah. From a certain point of view, I think this tracks with the organization and what they like when they decide to enforce rules and when they don't.
Oh no, I agree. Anyway, moving on. They start playing, and Gi-hun again is getting his ass kicked by the old man. But eventually what seems to be some dementia style effects come through where number one doesn't remember what Gi-hun guessed, odd or even. And Gi-hun, although you can tell that it really, really makes him feel terrible, he lies to the old man and says, oh, I said even, after showing the marbles. It's very interesting to me because Gi-hun is, he originally is portrayed as this kind of down on his luck loser, right? Who does, shitty things and is a bad dad and punches his ex-wife's husband and, just does things that he's at the horse racing track,
Yeah. Getting beat up by gangsters, like...
Throughout this game, they've sort of rebuilt him up as this nice guy. He's putting the sweater around the old man. He's, making sure that Saibyuk is on his team by offering, help, so on and so forth. And so now he's doing this despicable thing by taking advantage of this man's declining mental facilities. And there's one point where the old man has only 3 marbles in his hand, and he goes, okay, my turn, and then closes his hand in front of him and is like, okay, how many? And it's like, oh, and he almost like
he plays it so well in that moment.
Right, he does, but he's like, you can tell it's hurting him.
Yeah, like
it's hurting him.
He watches the old man who closes his hands, and he goes, how many? And you could just see on his face, is like, oh my god.
Right, he's like, seriously,
because also in that moment he thinks those are all the rest of the marbles.
Right, he thinks that's it, and so.
I want to touch on really quickly what you said about how he's acted throughout the rest of the game, because for the most part, I think he's kind of playing a character. I think he's found himself in a situation where he can be not the fuck up, not the person that has messed up with their family and their mother and their daughter and their money and he's really leaning into that throughout most of the game. Mm-hmm. Because I would argue that the Gi-hun we get when we get into the game is very different from the Gi-hun before the games.
Yeah.
And I think that's intentional. I think he's looking at this like this is a situation where I can reinvent myself. And when I get out of here, I'll have not only changed the way I act in here, but I'll also have gotten the money to be able to function this way in society normally.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I would say yes. Like, I think he realizes it's an opportunity to be somebody different. Yeah. But I would argue that maybe he's kind of had this heart of gold all along.
Yes.
But because
I should say playing a character.
Because of his bad situations he's been put in, you know, I think he thinks he's the protagonist of everything, right? Like he's one of those people that's like, I'm the main character.
Yeah.
But it hasn't turned out like that for him. You know?
Yeah, I didn't mean to say that like he's faking his kindness. That's not really what I worded it badly, but like I do think this is a moment where he's like, I gotta be who I am on the outside now in order to continue to be this better person that I've become
Sean,
here.
You're in the same situation. You're Gihan. Do you do it?
Yeah.
I do too.
I was actually going to ask you this question. Could you play? I don't think I could.
I'd have to, right? If I'm in this situation, I feel like I'd have to. I feel like I'm like, yo, I want to get home to my family. And when you're in a situation like that, and this is going to make me sound bad, but you take any advantage you get, and if that means this guy is fucking up because he has dementia, you roll with it. Now it sucks. I wouldn't feel good about it, but man, I really think they did a really good job of having Gihan do this, but not making him seem like necessarily a bad guy for doing it, because you can see the turmoil on his face, and you can see that he doesn't want to, but he needs to survive.
Yes, to wrap this point up and then go back to something else you just said. I don't mean to be like, he's like, I'm gonna let the badness out or whatever. I think it's more of I found a better way. Like I used this game as an opportunity to become a better person, and now in order to take that out into the real world, I need to be the bad person that I was on the outside one more time. And that's why he's so conflicted by it, and it hurts him so much. In terms of could I play this game, which was something I was thinking of, like I've said, for like a lot of the games, I don't think you know until you're in the moment. Like a lot of people say like, I could do this, I could do that. And I don't think anybody really knows until they're in the situation and it's in front of them and they have to make that choice. I don't know if I could play the marbles at all. I don't know. I don't know if I could be responsible for somebody else's death.
So you would just let them win?
I think I'd do the 240 thing.
Wow. Okay.
I don't know if I could
Sean,
do it.
if we ever get in the situation, I know who I'm partnering up with.
Yeah, exactly. I was
like, all right, Sean, go ahead. Blow the game. Let's go. Come on. Let's make it snappy.
Maybe in the moment, maybe in the moment, I'm like, no, fuck this. I want to live, you know?
Right. But, well, that's the way you do it, is you tell somebody, hey man, I can't do this. Let's play one round, just throw the thing down, and then you just go, yeah, right, sucker, and then you actually win. You pull a Song Woo.
So I do want to hear from people in the Discord about this though.
Yeah.
Cuz like again, they keep escalating it, because with Tug of War, you're responsible for somebody else's death, but like the 5 of you are responsible for the deaths of a vague group of 5 other people.
Or 10, yeah.
Or 10. I don't remember how many people were on a team.
It was 10.
Okay. So like us group, like we did this all together, and like we're not like face to face with them. They're on the other side of this thing. We can't even really see who we're killing with this. Like, this is a different situation.
They purposely on this time make you think, oh, we'll team up again, and then it's the exact opposite. And so you're probably teaming up with somebody that you're fond of or think is strong, right? Or your wife. And it doesn't work. It doesn't work how you want it. Anyway, we got to finish the recap because we didn't.
I'm so sorry. Yes.
No, it's okay. No, this is a very interesting episode. I knew we would talk a lot about it.
Yeah. I just want to hear from the people in the Discord on whether they think they could do it or not.
If they think they could play marbles, yeah.
Yeah.
Or whatever version of marbles they decide. So Gihan, cheats his way to getting 19 marbles, but he thinks he has 20. So he goes to the guard, and as he's doing it, the old man goes, "Oh, I have one more," and he pulls it out of his pocket.
Yeah.
And Gihan goes, "Wait, what?" And he starts counting his marbles in the dirt, and there's 19. And as he turns around, the old man's he's gone. He's just going down the street. I gotta find my old house. And so the rest of that episode is him chasing the old man, trying to get him to play one more round. And finally, the old man finds what he thinks is his house, and they go in. He says, "I used to watch my son. I'd come home, and I'd watch my son play with his friends. And they had so much fun. I used to hide behind this pole so they didn't know I was watching, but it was so great to watch them having so much fun." And Gihan is just like, "We have to play one more." Like he's shaking him, he's grabbing him, and the old man almost like snaps completely out of his dementia and is just like, "Okay, we'll play one more, but it's all or nothing. Whoever wins gets all the marbles." And Gihan's like, "That's not fair. I have 19 and you have 1." And he goes, "Well, was it fair to deceive an old friend?"
Yeah.
And
Gganbu?
Gganbu, and the turmoil on Gihan's face, realizing that he knew the whole time he was cheating him.
So this raises another question. Do you think the entire time the old man was planning to let Ggihan win?
Absolutely.
If he was going along with this? Yeah, okay.
Absolutely. And I think he was playing dumb to see what he would do, and he failed the test, but he knew that he didn't have much to live for, so to speak, and with the tumor in his head and all that, and so he was going to let Ggihan win. And it seems cruel, but, Ggihan really was a good guy to him the whole time.
Yeah.
And he doesn't let this one, admittedly justifiable thing he does to doom Ggihan and take his place, right? He goes, that was shitty of you, but I get it, The old man doesn't try to make him feel bad about it at all. He just says, "Hey, here's the last marble. We are Gganbu. We share everything after all." And he thanks him. He says, "You've made this the most fun I've had," and that, and Ggihan's just a wreck, dude, because
and so am I.
And so, so am I, because it's just like, wow, what a roller coaster. And finally, before he gets shot, he says, "Hey, I remembered my name. It's Il Nam. Oh, Il Nam." And then he gets shot, and this really heart-wrenching piano music's playing the whole time during the end of this episode. Is that because we split it up, but the way it works, I mean, you've seen the episode, obviously, if you're listening to this, and the way it works is they, super cut all of them together, and these people are dying one by one in a quick fashion, and it's just very
I think
terrible.
I think everybody dies, and then we have the scene of Ggihan and
this is definitely the last one. That's definitely the last one. And the camera zooms out on the little village as he walks away, and the timer ran out, so he's the last one kind of to win, so to speak. And then the episode ends.
There's something I want to say because I picked up on it while I was watching, but I'm not going to until we get to a different point.
Nope, we're not going to say it because I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But if you know, you know.
Yeah, if you know, you know. There's a thing that happens in this episode at some point that comes back later, and I picked up on it immediately.
It's not super apparent if you're not paying attention, I don't think, but it's not like we're just skipping a plot point and not telling you.
No. It's just if you're familiar with how creators structure stories on a visual medium in like movies and television, you're gonna be like, they did this thing for a specific reason and it's very clear.
What I really enjoy about this show is they do this twice this episode. And then obviously Ali, we already knew his name, but they want you to connect with these characters before they go. Even if it's a character that only came out 2 episodes or 2 episodes ago, like 240, right? And they do this thing, they do it twice where the character says, hey, this is actually my name now. You know, this is my name. Yeah. And it just makes it that much harder to see these characters and their demise. But it's well done. And it's not like exploitative. You know what I mean? Like it's not it's more like it's obviously violent, right? But it's not just for the sake of violence. It's about these relationships that develop and how they're just snapped away. And I really, really enjoy that about the show. This episode is the hardest episode to watch, I think, not because it's not well done or not entertaining, but because it is just very heart-wrenching. They up the stakes so high because, like you said, tug of war, you're pulling 10 people down that we don't even know, and they're dead. It's horrifying. It's terrible.
But there's a disconnect.
From it because I don't think there's one person in the tug of war episode that dies that we've met. Yeah. Right?
I mean, they do that with a lot of the games. All of our main characters are getting real lucky with the games. And I do think for some audience members, that might trick them into thinking something will get pulled out into this one. Because they're like, oh, they've been fine this entire time. They'll continue to be fine. Mm-hmm. And I think some audience members might get pulled in with that. I don't think many, but I think some people might get that. But just to me, like I said, when as soon as they were split up and they were like, you're playing against each other, I was like, okay. I know why they lived this long now.
I do agree with you for the most part that it's pretty obvious who's gonna live and who's gonna die there. Yeah. But I don't think it makes it any less.
No.
You know, any less poignant. You know what I mean?
I agree.
And you know, looking back, I'm. You know, the fact that I thought that Ali could live, right? Looking back, but when I first watched, and looking back, it's silly because it's like, yeah, you know, that's not in my head. I was like, oh, that's Ali's important, and it's like, nah, he's not. But they trick you into going, oh, this character's important because we learned about his backstory in episode 2, and you know, there's characters still alive that we didn't learn about, you know, and so he needs to survive and da da da. And I think they play on that a little bit with the Sangwoo, like what Sangwoo's trying to say. You're like, oh, maybe they can survive together, but it comes off as such a shit-eating lie to me that it's like, there's no way. At that point, I knew Ali was dead, right? But like starting off, I didn't immediately come to that.
And to quote something that means a lot to me and will make people groan listening, you know, journey before destination. You know what I'm saying? Like watching this episode, I was like, I know where this is going to end up. I can feel it, but it didn't make it any. I don't think that part matters. I don't think what matters about this episode is who dies. I think it's what they do before they die and how they die that matters. I don't like. I think if you were to sit down to watch this episode and somebody told you this person, and this person are going to die, I don't think it would affect your enjoyment of the episode at all.
I agree. You're right. It's more about the journey and not as much about the destination.
And I don't think that's always true, but I think in this moment it is.
Yeah, I agree. Anyway, Sean, who's the MVP of this episode?
For me, it's Ji Young.
Okay. Wow, you said her name. I'm impressed.
A final salute. I went and looked it up to make sure, just as a send off.
Ji Young.
Ji Young.
No family name, just Ji Young. That's it.
Ji Young is mine. I'm just not gonna say anything else.
You don't have a reasoning for it?
I have a reasoning for why it's not somebody else.
Oh. I see. Okay, that's fair. My MVP of the episode is probably the same. I think it's a great send off for that character. I think she wormed her way into my heart very quickly. It was only 2 episodes she showed up. And just a very well designed, fun character that, unfortunately, because of the way this show works, meets her demise, and in a way that is horrifying and terrible, but also respectable, right? She's giving her life so someone else can live. And I don't think it's an honorable sacrifice that I don't think a lot of people have the chance to make or would. You're right.
Yes.
It's very selfless.
I agree.
And because I don't know that I would do what she did. Even if I was in the exact same situation. I just gotten out of prison. I killed my dad. My mom's dead. I have no family. I still don't know that I would do it.
Yes, I agree. Like I said, I think I do what she did, but I'm always a big proponent of when you're talking about massive things like this, and even in the real world, when people are like, if I was in this situation, this is what I would do, and they're talking about something really big and life-changing and massive, I don't believe that you know that. Like, I don't believe anybody knows what you're gonna do until you're there in that moment.
For sure. And like, that's the thing, is I could go either way, but man, it's tough to know unless you're there, right? And hopefully none of us ever have to be in that.
Yeah, I really fucking hope nobody ever ends up in the Squid Game.
Yeah. Even, especially the Mr. Beast Squid Game. What a joke.
The only solace I take is that, as we've pointed out in earlier episodes, I wouldn't make it this far.
I would rather be in the real Squid Game than the Mr. Beast Squid Game. I just want to say that. And no one died in the Mr. Beast Squid Game, okay? I just want to throw that out there.
Dude, okay, can I talk about this fucking Squid Game tweet that... Can I
Have you watched the Mr. Beast Squid Game?
I haven't, but I saw a tweet that made me very upset.
Yeah, Mr. Beast didn't tweet it, though.
No. I'm not going after Mr. Beast. I'm just going after the internet. I can't find it, but so we won't get into it. But just somebody was saying, like, Mr. Beast's Squid Game got more views, or like a similar amount of views in less time, so that means it's worth more than the actual show.
I just pulled it up. So oh my god, this is terrible.
It's so dumb.
Well, I mean, I think it's not a bad idea. It's wholly unoriginal, right? You're literally just copying something. But basically what they did is they're playing red light, green light right now. And
I thought you pulled up the tweet.
No, I pulled up the actual Squid Game.
I don't care about the fucking... Yeah. Like, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad that they did it. I'm mad at the tweet.
How is this only a 25-minute video? They must rush through this shit. Is there anybody being Gganbus? Oh my god, they're playing marbles. I'm just like...
The tweet said, at Mr. Beast Squid Games video, 103 million views in 4 days. It took 7 weeks to make. At Netflix's Squid Games series, 111 million views in 30 days. It took 10 years to make. More views, less time, fewer gatekeepers. That's the promise of the creator economy. It's like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, that's a dumb...
You're a fucking moron, and if you don't understand why you're a moron, then I can't help you. I can't explain why you're an idiot, because it should just be obvious to you that what you said is one of the dumbest things anybody's ever said on the internet, and it's impressive. So that's what I think about that. Anyways,
wait, he only gave them $10,000, the winners?
Yeah, coward.
What a coward, dude. You spent way more money to make this, and this fucking video is making you so much money. You coward, Mr. Beast. Give him a $1
Yeah, give him a sweet $1
It has 148 million views. You've given out more money than $10,000, you coward. What the fuck? Anyway, I don't know why I'm shaming Mr. Beast right now.
I like how both of us are really upset about this, but for different aspects of it.
No, I think that tweet is so dumb.
Yeah.
And
No,
as someone who really likes YouTube and the fact that someone can just create whatever they want for the most part
That's
and put
awesome.
it on YouTube, it's great. To say that it has the same production quality as a prestige television show is not true.
Or even the same worth.
Unless it does, right? Unless they do put that work in. But that is a scripted show. This is a reality TV kind of deal based off the scripted show. There's not the musical elements. There's not the script. There's not the heart heart tugging. You know what I mean? It's just a fun thing.
You can do that stuff. You can do that stuff on YouTube. Like it's not me saying like YouTube will never be able to do what normal television can do. Like you can tell really. I think one of my favorite fucking stories is Marble Hornets, and that's a YouTube series. I really love Marble Hornets.
I have no idea what that is.
It's like the original Slenderman. Like
how many views does it have?
Yeah, exactly. But like to compare this fucking joke meme to video to like the story that was told over these episodes and the heart in it and the worth and meaning of it and what it tries to say about like society and us as a people, to say that has the same amount of worth as Mr. Beast getting a bunch of people together and having them do a parody of it is like, I think that's a really stupid thing to say.
Yeah, for sure.
Personally.
I agree. I think anybody with a right mind would agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the MVP of the episode, Sean, what's your strategy for this game? Wait, we already did that, didn't we?
Yeah, we already did that. I'm out. Right. I'm out. See you guys later.
Cheating.
Yeah,
I'm finding my strategy is I'm finding someone with dementia and taking advantage of them.
Or finding me.
Yeah, or Sean, because I know Sean will immediately
drop the
win.
Marble. I will drop the marble.
He will let me win immediately. Is there anything else you have to say about this episode? I know we've talked for a long time. This is going to be a longer episode, but I think this is kind of like I'm trying to think of the best way to say this. If I had to rank the Squid Game episodes, this is at least, if not the top one, it's top two.
I think it's the top one for me, and I would say that I'm going to reference a different thing, but Game of Thrones.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So I'm going to talk about structure. Game of Thrones, their big episodes like were always episode 9, and then episode 10 was like the aftermath, and we're wrapping up everything else, but everything comes to a head in 9. I think everything comes to a head in this episode, and the rest of the season is kind of like, okay, now we're snowballing down to the end, and we're finishing up. But I think this is the most important episode.
I think it's a really good episode. I think the only reason the next episode, it doesn't compare, but the only reason the next episode even like is something you want to watch is because the game is interesting.
I think the next episode is my favorite game of all of them.
Yeah, the game's really cool. We'll talk about the next episode.
On the next episode.
On the next episode. The characterization in this next episode's a little out there. But yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Anyway, we want to hear from you guys about your marble strategies. We want to hear, what was the other thing we wanted to hear?
Oh God, I don't remember.
You were really into hearing about it.
I know, and I don't remember what it was.
Oh God.
Like, could you do it? Was that it? Not like...
No, like, you always ask that too. It was something else.
I always ask that?
Yeah, you always go, could you guys do it? Could you kill another man? And
could you kill another
Sean,
man?
No,
yes.
None of us could kill another man.
Oh, okay. I know.
No,
I think
Sean.
Jip could do it. He's fucked up, dude.
Yeah, Jip's a... Dude, don't even get me started on Jip murdering people.
What would you do with time travel? Was that it?
Oh, that's what it was. It was time travel. Yeah. Well, if you could go back and do one thing, time traveling, what would you guys do? And why is it killed Hitler just before he dies?
Not before he could do any of the terrible things that he did.
Just before
right
he
before
dies.
he dies, so you can get credit.
Yes. Yes, so you can be like, I'm the man that killed Hitler. Can you imagine how much clout I would have if I was the man that killed Hitler, dude?
Dude,
I'd be the one.
Views.
I'd be the one doing the Squid Game. I'd be Mr. Beast.
You'd have Nomura on the podcast.
Yeah, it would be intense. Anyway, Sean, I think we're about ready to end this episode.
I'm ready.
Go.
We gotta go.
So thank you for listening to Squid Pro Quo with the Squid Boys. You can find me on Twitter at SpikeGhetti Bros and on twitch.tv/Super SpikeGhetti Bros. Sean, where can they find you?
You guys can follow me on Twitter at Sean_AFK. Everything that I do is in my bio.
Also, you can follow him at Legion_Rip. Thank you guys so much for watching or listening. There's no watching yet. I'm working on YouTube, on getting the podcast on YouTube and having like a visualization behind it that is cool. So please look forward to that. And thank you for listening. Sean, I'm ready to terminate this episode.
I'm ready to terminate this episode. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye. Let me try to regain my voice. Okay.
I don't know what that means.
My voice is kind of fucked up from being sick, so I'm trying to
like Ariel and the Little Mermaid.
Yeah. I gotta go on a quest.
Did a sea witch steal your voice?
Yeah, that's what it is. That one, the sea witch of Utah.
The Salt Lake witch.
The Salt Lake witch.
The Salt Lake Mormon witch of Utah.
Bye. 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 Bye.